Welcome back to English Listen and Learn. I'm Ben, and as always, I'm joined by the amazing Anna.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me back.
So you know how sometimes you're trying to speak English fluently, but it feels like your brain is stuck in translate mode?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, today we're going to tackle that head on,
Yeah.
diving deep into how to actually think in English.
It's a game changer.
It really is.
Yeah.
No more translating in your head, just pure, unadulterated English thought. And we've got 7 powerful techniques to help you get there.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Let's do it.
All right, so tip number 1. This one might sound deceptively simple, but it's all about starting small.
Small.
Yeah, we're not talking about memorizing, lists of vocabulary or, diving into complex grammar rules.
Right.
It's all about your immediate surroundings, the everyday objects and actions you encounter all the time.
This is so important because it's about building those foundational connections, right?
Yeah.
You look at a table, you don't think mesa, and then translate it to table.
You just think table.
You just think table instantly.
Yeah.
Direct connection between the object and the English word.
You do the same thing with actions too, right?
Absolutely.
Like I'm opening the fridge.
I'm closing the door.
I'm pouring a glass of water,
I'm sitting in a chair.
It seems really basic,
It does.
but it's about rewiring those neural pathways.
It is. And the more you do it, the stronger those pathways become.
And that brings us perfectly to our next tip.
Yeah.
Tip number 2 is narrate your day.
Ooh, I like this one.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
This was fun. So, you know how we all have that voice in our heads that's constantly chattering away?
Oh, yeah, always.
Well, now it's time to make that voice speak English.
Turn that inner monologue into your personal English narrator.
Yeah,
Be
exactly.
the commentator of your own life.
So instead of just, going through your day on autopilot, you're actively describing what you're doing in English.
I'm walking to the store.
The sun is shining.
I'm feeling good today.
I'm waiting for the bus. It's running late.
I wonder what's for dinner tonight.
You're basically turning your life into an English audiobook.
I love it.
I know, it's so fun.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to practice thinking in English naturally without even really trying.
Effortlessly.
Effortlessly, exactly. All right. So now that we've got those basic building blocks in place, let's pick things up a notch.
Okay, I'm ready.
Tip number 3 is use English for everything.
Huh.
Everything. And I mean everything.
So we're not just talking about narrating our actions anymore.
Right. This is about thinking through decisions, making plans, even processing your feelings all in English.
Exactly. So if you're trying to decide what to wear in the morning, you think, okay, what's the weather like today? Do I have any meetings? What do I feel like wearing? And you do that whole thought process in English.
Exactly.
Or if you're making a shopping list, you don't just jot down the items. You think, okay, what do I need for the week? Do I need milk, bread, eggs? And you keep that inner conversation going in English.
It's a subtle shift,
It is.
but it makes a huge difference in how deeply you integrate English into your daily life.
It becomes less of a foreign language and more of a natural way of thinking.
Yeah, and the more you do it, the more automatic it becomes.
Practice makes perfect.
Absolutely. Okay, on to tip number 4. And this one might seem a little obvious, but it's so crucial. Surround yourself with English.
Surround yourself, immerse yourself.
Yeah, and I'm talking about all forms of English movies.
Music,
Podcasts, books, social media.
everything.
If it's in English, consume it.
This is all about input, right? The more you expose yourself to authentic English, the more your brain absorbs the patterns, the rhythms, the vocabulary.
It's like you're marinating your brain in English.
Exactly. And don't just passively listen or read, try to actively engage with the material.
Right, so if you're watching a movie, maybe try shadowing repeating the lines along with the actors.
Or if you're listening to a podcast, try summarizing the main points in your head afterward.
Anything that gets you actively using the language.
Engaging with it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, ready for tip number 5? This one might feel a little silly at first, but trust me, it's a game changer. Talk to yourself out loud in English.
Out loud. Now, hold on. I know.
People might think we're crazy.
But hear me out.
Okay.
When you talk to yourself out loud, you're actually forcing your mouth to produce the sounds.
Right.
You're practicing your pronunciation.
It's like a mini rehearsal.
It is. And it also helps you get more comfortable with the flow of spoken English.
And it builds confidence.
Exactly. So don't be afraid to have those English conversations with yourself.
Nobody's listening.
Exactly. Or if they are, they'll think you're super dedicated to your English learning.
That's right.
All right, now for one of the biggest hurdles to thinking in English, tip number 6 is stop translating.
Ooh, This is a tough one.
It is, but it's so important.
It is because it's about shifting your mindset, right? Instead of constantly going back and forth between your native language and English, you need to start thinking in concepts.
So if you don't know the exact English word for something, don't get stuck in the translation trap.
Right.
Try to paraphrase. Use simpler words.
Find another way to express the idea.
Get creative.
Yeah, and eventually you'll start to build up that vocabulary and those neural connections to where you don't even have to translate anymore.
It becomes second nature.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And finally, tip number 7. This is a great way to end your day and solidify what you've learned. Reflect on your day in English.
Oh, I love this one.
Me too. It's so simple, but
Yeah.
so effective. So before you go to sleep, just take a few minutes to think back over your day and describe it to yourself in English.
So you could say things like, today was a good day.
I learned some new English words.
I had a delicious dinner.
I felt really productive today.
Whatever comes to mind, just make sure you're thinking in English.
It's a great way to reinforce those neural pathways and make English a constant part of your mental landscape.
Absolutely.
So there you have it, 7 powerful techniques to train your brain to think in English.
Now go out there and put them into practice.
Yeah, and remember, it's a process. It takes time and effort, but it's so worth it.
It really is.
And here's a final thought to leave you with. What if you started setting goals in English?
Ooh, interesting.
Think about your dreams, your aspirations, and try to formulate them in English.
It's a powerful way to align your thinking with your goals.
Exactly. And who knows, it might even help you achieve them faster.
I love it.
All right, that's all we have for today.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, happy learning.
Bye, everybody.
Let's learn some new vocabularies together. Head on. It means directly or without avoiding something. Example 1. She faced the challenge head on and didn't back down. Example 2. It's best to deal with problems head on instead of ignoring them. Unadulterated. It means pure and not mixed with anything else. Example 1. This juice is 100% unadulterated with no added sugar. Example 2. He felt unadulterated joy when he won the competition. Chat away, it means to talk a lot, usually in a relaxed way. Example 1. We sat in the cafe and chatted away for hours. Example 2. The kids were chatting away excitedly about their school trip. Pick things up a notch. It means to increase effort or intensity. Example 1. We need to pick things up a notch if we want to win the game. Example 2. The chef picked things up a notch by adding extra spices. Jot down. It means to quickly write something down. Example 1. I jotted down my friend's phone number before I forgot it. Example 2. The teacher asked us to jot down the key points from the lesson. Thanks for watching. Until next time.